Oh yeah, listen man, I got you all confirmed for next Tuesday at 1 o'clock down at BronxNet's Media and Technology Studios in the South Bronx. We can't wait to get you on the show. Hey everybody, as a matter of fact, I'm on the phone with one of our certified access producers who we are booking to be on this amazing show, Emerging Media Makers. Now, you know, we created this show for regular community members just like you because we want to highlight you being in television production, telling your own unique story. So I'm going to finish up with Jeff and let's start the show. Jeff, listen, we'll see you next week, man. All right, can't wait. Bye-bye.
It's been a long time since the Bronx was burning. Like a phoenix rising from the ashes, the rich stories from our community continue to captivate and entertain audiences from the Bronx and beyond. Welcome to Emerging Media Makers. This show was created to shine a light on the talent and vision of BronxNet's access producers. Emerging Media Makers, your passion lives here.
Hey, creative family. Welcome to another episode of Emerging Media Makers. My name is Timothy Stone Dancer Coleman, and I'm the Director of Education for BronxNet and your host for Emerging Media Makers. Our goal is to shine a light on the amazing talents of our certified producers, as well as to introduce you to how easy it is to get your creative ideas in front of the world. By participating in one of our certification classes, you too could become a producer of your own show at one of our 3 BronxNet TV locations. We have studios at Mercy University in Westchester Square, in Carmen Hall on the campus of Lehman College, and here in BronxNet's Media and Technology Studios in the South Bronx. Come on, Bronx! We have certified classes in field production and in-studio production that will teach you the basics of TV production, plus a host of other classes that support you on your journey of content creation. Everyone starts with a free class called Masterclass, How to Unleash Your Ideas. Now, in that class, you'll get an overview of how previously certified community members have gone on to produce their own original programming. We also leave time to hear your questions and to help you move on to the classes that are best suited for your needs. If you're a person that's hesitant to take a class and take that first step into TV production because maybe you don't want to be in front of the camera, well, rest assured, there are several positions available that need your support, like audio engineering, set design. Maybe you want to operate the camera or do floor management. There's so many things to choose from. Check out our website at bronxnet.org/education for more information and find out how easy it is to start your production journey and get your original idea in front of the Bronx and beyond. When we come back, we're starting off with an amazing certified producer who is doing things all over the world. She's not just right here in the Bronx. She is global by the truest definition of global. We'll be right back after these messages.
Only 57% of New York City high school students are college ready by their senior year. .5% of high school graduates either have no plans to attend college or are uncertain that they will ever attend. .34% of young adults don't go to college because they can't afford it. Discover what's possible. BronxNet's education programs, internships, and opportunities help engage and inspire Bronx youth and beyond to pursue their passions. Be a part of the BronxNet family. Whether you're interested in our shows, joining a class, or donating to support our mission, visit BronxNet.org to learn more.
Hey creative family, thanks so much for coming back. Now, I have an amazing certified producer that is here with me today, and you're gonna just love getting to know her as much as I did. Her name is Ifeoma Ezinwa. Now, Ify is a seasoned international journalist and documentary filmmaker with 2 decades experience in electronic, print, and new media. Ife is the publisher and editor-in-chief of Echoes Africa magazine, the director-producer of Echoes from the Valley, a television original series through which she tells stories of the underrepresented from marginalized communities. She is the founder and CEO of Echoes Africa Initiatives, a New York-based nonprofit founded with a mission to end social injustice and address mental health in marginalized communities. Ife holds a master's degree in journalism with specialization in documentary filmmaking from the University of Columbia Graduate School of Journalism. Now, I could go on and on and on and brag about her, but I know you're already saying it. Let's actually meet Ife and hear it from herself, all right? So, Ife, thanks so much for joining us on the show today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, my gosh, my pleasure, my pleasure. So you have a tremendous biography, and it looks like you have your hand in a lot of different pieces of media. So I feel like you're kind of like the BronxNet Oprah, if I can say, like you've got your hand in a bunch of different pieces. So before we get into all of that, I would love for the folks to get a chance to know a little bit more about you personally. Where are you from originally?
I'm originally from Nigeria, West Africa.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm Igbo speaking from Abia State.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
you.
And so what brought you to the United States?
What brought me to the United States? I am always someone who wants to be the best that I can possibly be. And in the media, I wanted to be able to be the best that I could be. And then, of course, my husband, I got married and we decided to move out and come out here to really explore the endless possibilities that America has to offer.
Yes.
And here I am.
That is really beautiful. From Nigeria to the Bronx, okay? Come on, Bronx. Now, as you were growing up, were you always interested in media? Like, was there someone in your family that was a part of the industry that, that inspired you? What made you, go towards that particular path?
Okay, first of all, I call myself a storyteller.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, I grew up in, that's why I'm so concerned about the marginalized community. I grew up as one of 7 kids, of a single mother of 7.
Wow.
And of course, in Africa, you know how the situation is. It was horrible, growing up really poor. And I was an introvert, so I was always reading. And I could make up stories in my head. So I wasn't interested in anything else. Growing up, going to high school, a lot of people were, because I know how to express myself, they felt, oh, you're going to be a lawyer? Oh, no. I really didn't know what I wanted to be, but I ended up in my bachelor's doing theater arts. So I have a bachelor's degree in theater arts. And even at then, I didn't have the aha moment. I was still exploring. Yes, I like telling stories. I learned the art of storytelling in theater arts and expressing myself. Yes. And I decided, when we took media classes in theater through my bachelor's degree, I was more interested in media than anything else. Of course, I excelled in everything else, but in media, I was really interested in it. Right. So, of course, as I started to grow up and realize, okay, this is where it is. This is the medium through which I wanted to tell my story. Being a theater artist helps me to tell the stories that I want to tell. And so when I came out here, I wanted to start from scratch. It's a different environment, or the culture shock and all of that. I didn't know how the media operated. I started as a journalist back in Nigeria. I had my own TV show in the biggest TV network in Africa. Okay. I was traveling all over the world, interviewing Nigerian professionals abroad. And so I was already doing that, but it was like,
you came to us a full-blown professional. Okay.
So I was doing that, but then I came out here, I was like fish out of water. I didn't know how the media industry operated and all of that. I'm like, okay, from my experience, the only way to learn something is really learn from scratch. That's right. So I went to Bronx Community College. Yeah. I started from, even though I already had a bachelor's degree, I did.
Wow.
I went back. I did it again. I went to get associate degree in media and digital film production. Yes. But before Bronx Community College, I came to BronxNet.
Yeah. Okay.
So before I came to the U.S., I would produce, I would direct. My strength is content development. Yes. But in BronxNet, I learned how to edit. Right. I learned how to handle the camera. which of course only made me better. Right. And so after BronxNet, I would do regular shows. I was doing a show for my church then. It's still on air, a new song. And then I decided I wanted to go further, and I went to Columbia University because I'm like, if you want to be the best, you want to compete with the best, go get trained by the best.
Wow.
And so I went back to school, went to Columbia University.
You are super impressive. Like, let me just pause for one quick moment. Let's identify a couple of these $1 million nuggets, all right?
Okay.
The greatest thing that I think anybody watching, any of our current certified producers, anybody who might be looking to like just put their toe in the water and think about, TV production, the greatest thing that I've always said is you have to understand the art of storytelling. What is the story? What's the idea that you are crafting that you want to present and put in front of other people? Because it all starts from that. We see tons and tons and tons of TV programs, especially now with like all the streaming opportunities. And some of it is just boring because they haven't developed the actual story. Right. And that's why I think there are some really special, magical TV shows that are here on BronxNet because we have storytellers like you, right? And so thank you, first of all, for bringing like a worldwide perspective to the work of what we do here at BronxNet. And then thank you also for being humble enough to start over in a new country, in a new state, in a new system, and still maximize on it and like still serve it up to the people. Like, congratulations.
Thank you.
You're like totally a role model, right? So now you went to Columbia, you graduated, you were already doing a show here at BronxNet before Columbia. What is it, the same show? Was it a different show?
A different show.
Okay, and what was that show?
Oh no, I went to Columbia in 2020. So this started in 2018.
So this was okay.
Yeah.
And so you started your show with us pre-pandemic, and once you completed your was it your in-studio production class?
Right.
And
I did the field and the in-studio.
You did both of them?
Both of them.
Okay, so that way you have the open opportunity. Okay, people, listen to me right quick, all right? You don't have to take just one thing. Sometimes you stumble upon the thing that is best for you because you try out multiple things. So if you took field production class, which for the viewers, just really quickly, it allows you to check out our equipment and go and film your show at home or in whatever location you want to take it to. And then you took the in-studio class, which allows you to, reserve space and use our equipment and our space to film your show. So talk to me a little bit about what is your show about?
Basically, Echoes from the Valley is, I feel like the marginalized communities they are underrepresented. Their voices are not heard. And that's because we allow other people to tell our stories.
Yes.
And so the only way to get people to understand them, when I talk about marginalized communities, I'm talking about marginalized communities in New York, marginalized communities all over in Africa.
All over the world.
You need to understand them. You need to understand their story. You need to understand their history, their origin.
Yes.
Then when you understand, you'll be in a better position to understand their struggles.
That's right.
Because a lot of people are dismissive about what people have to go through or what people are but you need to understand them. So
right.
Echoes from the Valley is a platform to really tell the story of the underrepresented, of the people whose voices are not heard. And I felt that BronxNet is the best way, the best medium to tell these stories.
And we feel that way too, so yes, continue.
And the added advantage is people were actually amazed when I told them that you could be in Africa and access BronxNet on your computer.
That's right.
In real time while the show is being aired. And so that's,
it's phenomenal.
It is. So, that's what Echoes from the Valley does. Echoes from the Valley brings you to, we go to Namibia, we're talking stories about Namibia, and then we bring it to BronxNet. People in New York, people all over the world, if they go on their computer, could learn about Namibians, learn about the genocide that happened in Namibia, learn about their struggles. It's easy. The first time I went to Namibia, I'm like, these people are so laid back. They are not, they're so subservient and all, but you need to understand their history. When you understand their history, know what they went through during apartheid, you'll be able to understand why they are the way they are.
That's right.
And it can only make the world a better place if we all understand each other.
That is so phenomenal, and that's what brings us together, is understanding how much we have in common.
Right,
And,
right.
and one of the things that has been the challenge, which you're defining actually, that it happens in multiple places around the world. But one of the things here in the Bronx that we always see is everyone wants to control our story, right?
Exactly.
Which is why I think the power of television and the power of what we're doing at BronxNet is so profound, because it allows us to reclaim our own story and tell people who we really are. Most people, if you go across the country, the only thing they really know about the Bronx, they might say, oh, there's murder in the Bronx, or, oh, is the Bronx still on fire? Well, those fires were decades ago, right? Like, they don't know anything up to date. Oh, the Yankees. But there's so much quality happening not only in our schools, in television and programming, in our podcasts, and the different types of things that we're doing. And I think we need more of our community members engaged to continue to tell our stories. So what has the response been for you in the stories that you've been telling, whether they're from the Bronx or the different parts of Africa? Like, what's the feedback that you get?
Well, the feedback is just, again, that is what keeps me going. Because some people would email me and they'll be like, oh, I didn't know that, for instance, Namibians, that there was genocide in Namibia. I didn't know that there was a time the Germans killed millions of Namibians. I didn't know that. And then I've seen people who have told me they want their next vacation, they're going to Namibia.
Right.
They're going to some parts of Africa that I have
Because you've been able to expose them a little bit to the truth of what's going on.
And then the more they go, the more they understand the cultures. Because some cultures that look foolish to a lot of people,
Yes.
when you go and understand the people, understand their origin, their histories and all, you appreciate it better.
That's right.
And I tell stories of people living in the Bronx. I tell stories about artists who are struggling, who don't have the platforms to present the things or to showcase what they're doing. I do that. I'm one of the major things I'm doing now that I'm really, really passionate about. I have this program I call, through my not-for-profit, I call My Story, My Power. I train youths and young adults from marginalized communities on the art of storytelling, on TV production, on audiovisual, telling story through the audiovisual production.
That's phenomenal.
And we train them in editing and everything. And then we have a mental health component to it, where twice a week we have a mental health expert. It's like a non-medical platform for really express yourself, share, and all of that. It really helps the youth. I've seen it. They blossom.
This is phenomenal. This is phenomenal.
That's the one thing I'm passionate about right now. And then through that, we are building more storytellers in the community.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I could talk to you. We need a couple more shows with you, all right? Like, I feel like this is not enough time to get out all of the phenomenal things that you're actually doing. So tell the folks the name of your show, where can they catch it, what time is it on?
The show is Echoes from the Valley. It's broadcast on BronxNet, of course.
Yes.
And you can access it from any part of the world on your computer, real time. And it's on air every Saturday, 7:30 p.m. on channel 69.
Beautiful. It is such a pleasure to meet you. There are so many things that, like, we're going to have to sit down and do a behind the scenes kind of moment for this, because there's so many other questions that I have for you. Time is running out on us, but I thank you so much for really demonstrating what it looks and feels like when we meet a person who has totally tapped into their purpose, because you're still doing the thing you set out to do, but there are so many branches to it, right? And so I commend you. I send blessings to you and your family, and I thank you for bringing all of that fabulosity to right here at BronxNet. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, folks, listen. These are community members just like you, and you can be a part of this. We'll be right back after these messages. Hey, creative family. Thanks so much for coming back. Now, listen, this show, as you know, was created to celebrate certified community members, folks that have taken our classes, become certified in television production, in podcasting, one of the other things that we have to offer, and to bring them to your attention to highlight all of the different ways that you could be able to tell your own story to the world. One of the things that we run into quite frequently is that there are people who are interested in entertainment or interested in TV production, but they don't want to be a host and they don't want to be on camera because maybe they sit at like that 10,000-foot view where they've got a great show idea, but they want someone else to be the person in front of the camera, working with the audience and that sort of thing. That's totally fine. There are so many different positions that go into making a show successful. It takes a lot of different people and a lot of moving pieces to get one person in front of the camera. But it's not a one-man show. This is not a job that you do by yourself. You need a team, right? And so BronxNet's team is here to support you, but where you could really make a difference is understanding not only the story that you want to tell, but understanding the vision of what you want your show to actually look like. Now, Emerging Media Makers was created pre-pandemic by some of the directors here at BronxNet, and I started here at BronxNet after the pandemic. And when I saw an episode of the first season, I was like, oh my God, this is a phenomenal show. Please let me host it. And we opened up the Media and Technology Studios here in the South Bronx, and we are very limited on space in terms of what we can use for set design. So we sat down and thought about what could we do to make our show, Emerging Media Makers Season 2, look a little bit different than the other shows that are being filmed here when we don't have any storage space for furniture, right? So I'm going to show you a quick teachable moment about some of the things that you can do to make your show look unique, no matter where you are and no matter what you have at your disposal. Now, we're a few episodes in of this season, so you've seen the set many times. You've seen our pillows. They give a little pop on this nice color blue. We've got a little bit of a different thing here. On our stool, we've got a beautiful fake plant right here. I don't mind demystifying like what it is because I want you to understand how simple it is and how easy it would be for you to replicate something of this nature. All right. Now, what I did was I went out to 3rd Avenue and 149th Street, which is right around the corner from the Media and Technology Studios here in the South Bronx. And I walked into, just a fabric store and I was like, I'm kind of short on ideas. I have no real budget, but we want it to look unique and we wanted to the colors to really look like really phenomenal in this space. So I chatted with an amazing, amazing lady who said, how many pieces of furniture are you trying to cover? What I did was we have couches here at BronxNet that are in the hallway that usually people sit on. But because nobody's really here while we're filming, I took those couches and brought them inside. And I just bought a couple of pieces of fabric that were super inexpensive, but that matched the color theme of what we were trying to accomplish, right? So do you see how simple this is? I'm talking like just a few dollars. You can take some of the things that are sitting around, maybe in your home, maybe your couch is never covered up. Maybe you go and buy a piece of fabric and throw it over your couch before you start filming. Maybe you invest in like a green screen or something that goes behind you so that you can, put any kind of thing on the screen behind you, like we do with our logo, right? It's so simple to put it all together. And the end result is this quick, like just a few minutes of setup and we're ready to go. We're ready to sit down with our guests. We're ready to show you all the different things, right? So it's the same thing, right? With this fabric, I had her cut 2 pieces of the same exact size because the couches are the same. And we throw them on there, a couple of pillows because, a brother loves to have something comfy on his back while he's chatting. Now, this is the much, much more simplified version of set design, but this is what we're doing, right? This is where we partner with you. We meet you where you are. We work with you with whatever it is that you have, and you can find these things again in any neighborhood. You could go on multiple different box store websites and find different types of things to make your color scheme look unique. Branding is not only about the story that you're telling, it's not only about the clothing that you wear, it's also about the scene and the setup. Where are you inviting people into? Every time you guys have seen the show, every time I wear a shirt that represents the Bronx. These were super inexpensive. Got them online. Got a whole bunch of them at the same time so I can change them up. So I know some of y'all be out here like, does he always wear the same thing? No, I do not. Okay, I have multiple different colored pairs of black pants and a bunch of different t-shirts. It is the same jacket. That's my business. So, that's it. I just wanted to teach you and show you very quickly that little changes, little tiny things that you do can make a great, great difference in how you represent yourself, your show, and your story. We'll be right back after these messages.
19.7% of Bronxites currently experience food insecurity. Meanwhile, instead of these nice, colorful foods, this is the best food that they have access to. If this sounds like you, there are a bunch of resources to get healthy food for free or cheap. If you want to help, you might consider donating or volunteering in one of these places. Community fridges like this one are all over the city and allow New Yorkers to conveniently donate extra food to people who might need it. Go to this link and find your nearest one. Food banks and pop-up events like these provide millions of healthy meals to families in need. These organizations are distributing meals to Bronxites as we speak and are always accepting donations and volunteers.
Hey, creative family, thank you so much for joining us for another episode of Emerging Media Makers. Today, we met another certified access producer who actually was certified in both field production and in studio production. And she shares her vision not only with the Bronx, but around the entire world, bringing attention to people in marginalized communities and helping them tell their own unique stories. You can do this too. We believe in you. Come to BronxNet. We'll walk you through all of the classes that you should be taking, and step by step, you'll see how well supported you'll be, because the best thing you could do is control your own story. I'm Timothy Stone Dancer Coleman. I'm here at BronxNet's Media and Technology Studios in the South Bronx, and I am looking forward to meeting you one day in person. Thank you, and be well.